Have you ever wondered what would happen if you drilled a hole from the North Pole all the way to the South Pole? I'm talking straight through the Earth, through the crust, the mantle, and the core. And then you jumped in. Now, normally that is a terrible idea. The Earth's core is around 5,500 degrees, so you would be gone before you could even say ouch. But let's pretend for a second. Let's say the hole is air-conditioned. Because why not? And it's a perfect vacuum with no air and no resistance. So you jump. What happens next? Well, gravity pulls you down. And because there's no air, you just keep speeding up. There is no parachute effect and no slowing down. You just go faster and faster. By the time you reach the center of the Earth, you are going 28,000 kilometers per hour. That is fast enough to circle the entire planet in under an hour. But here is where it gets weird. Once you pass the center, gravity actually starts pulling you backward toward the middle again. But you are going so fast that you keep moving anyway. You do slow down, sure, but you don't stop. By the time you pop out at the South Pole, your speed finally hits zero. For one perfect moment, you are just floating there at the edge of the hole. Then, whoops, you fall back in. And you do it all over again. North Pole to South Pole, back to the North Pole, and back again. Congratulations, you are now a human pendulum forever. And each trip takes exactly 42 minutes. You probably think this 42-minute thing only works if you go right through the center, straight down the middle from the North Pole to the South Pole. Nope. Any straight hole through the Earth, from any point to any other point, takes exactly 42 minutes, even if the hole misses the center completely or inclined at an angle. Why? Okay, hang with me for a second. When you fall through an off-center hole, gravity doesn't pull as hard along the tunnel. It is a weaker pull. But the tunnel is also shorter. A shorter distance and a weaker pull cancel each other out perfectly. So, New York to Paris? 42 minutes. New York to Sydney? 42 minutes. Gravity is beautiful. But that was the perfect vacuum version? No air, no friction, just a perfect pendulum forever. But your tunnel isn't a vacuum. With air, at first, it feels the same. You fall, you zoom past the center, and you pop out at the South Pole. But wait, you didn't go quite as high this time. You are a little slower. Every time you pass the center, the air steals a tiny bit of your energy. A little friction here, a little drag there. Your bounces get smaller. North Pole to South Pole is shorter each time, and South Pole back to the North Pole is even shorter. Eventually, you stop reaching the surface altogether. You are just bouncing in the middle, a few kilometers up, then a few kilometers down. And then, finally, you stop. You are now at the exact center of the Earth, right where gravity cancels out. There's no pull up, no pull down, and no pull left or right. You are weightless and completely stuck. Not trapped exactly, just with nowhere left to fall. You are not dead. You are just floating in the dark, in the middle of a planet. And with perfect air conditioning, remember, so at least you are comfortable. But here is the problem. How do you get out? There is no ladder, no rope, and no gravity to pull you toward either end. You are just there, forever, in the quiet, at the center of the Earth. Unless someone drops you a really long rope. But they would have to lower it all the way from the North Pole or South Pole, and you would have to catch it in zero gravity and in the dark. Yeah, good luck with that. So yeah, that is what happens when you drill a hole through the Earth. In a perfect vacuum, you are a forever pendulum, 42 minutes each way, endless. But with atmosphere, you slow down, your bounces shrink, and you get stuck at the center, floating forever. It is the same hole and the same jump, but a completely different ending, all because of the air.